Hey folks, got a cold beer to drink out here with you guys today. Yeah. This is the coconut cream ale or junk drawer beer I made a while back with some leftover ingredients. Cheers. Double tap. So, all I used was DME for the fermentables in this. Some hops. Fermented it with USO5. I guess it was the Sabro hops that I used. I had all of these ingredients left over. Just wanted to make up a little DME beer. See how good this turns out. And where the coconut comes from, I'm losing all my head. Where the coconut comes from, I used that natural coconut flavoring from Brewer's Best. I used 1 ounce for 1 gallon. So we'll see how that turned out in here too. I can pick up the coconut smell. It's a good beer. This one's interesting. You know, here's the thing. If you like super light beers, or your friends like super light beers, you can make a little DME beer, and they're gonna say, "Damn, you made this?" Because if you compare this to like Coors Light or Bud Light or something like that, it's pretty much on point. If you don't like those, if you're straight up craft drinker, you like your IPAs and your Belgian triples and all that good stuff also, excuse me, this might not be a beer for you. But the thing about a DME beer, I don't know, there's nothing like that impressive about them. But I think all the beers that I enjoy the most, there's nothing too impressive about them. If you serve them cold, they're just clean, easy to drink, and you can drink a few of them and be just fine. Man, that coconut hits you right off the bat. I see what people talk about. Okay, so to back up a little bit, I poured 3 ounces of that coconut flavoring into a keg when I effed up the last coconut cream ale I made by putting all of that raw coconut in it. I just didn't like the taste of it when it came out. So I dumped 3 ounces of this, the flavoring, into the keg. I couldn't really pick it up. That beer was a mess. But now, putting it in this beer, something nice and light and clean, because I fermented with USO5, it pretty much fermented out. By putting it in there, I can really tell what that flavoring does. I enjoy it. I'm definitely getting the coconut smell out of it. It hits you right off the bat. But then when it finishes, what was the word that they used to describe that? Like astringent or kind of like an alcohol-y taste at the end. I get a little bit of that. But I only used 1 ounce for 1 gallon. Okay, so it is a little bit subtle. I wouldn't taste this and say, no, let's say it's like kind of some coconut or something. Yeah, it's definitely a coconut. But I'll tell you this. Lately, when I've experimented with putting other flavors in beer, the coconut, the What else did I do? The honey, that's a little bit different. Maybe it's just the raw coconut I'm thinking of and this flavoring. But anyway, what I've been doing lately is after drinking the beer, I'm like, God, I wish I wouldn't have put that damn flavoring in it. To each his own. You know, I just like my clean beers. And I didn't make this to impress anyone. I just made it because these were the leftover ingredients I still had. You know, some hops, some yeast, and then a little bit of DME left over from my yeast starters. So I didn't want them to go to waste. So I just decided to throw everything together, also for the adventure of just making a little beer and seeing how she came out. And also as an excuse to try that coconut flavoring on its own. I'd like to try some of the other Brewer's Best flavorings. You know, they make everything. Anything you could want. Raspberry, peach, whatever it is. Brewer's Best makes it in that little bottle. I say I'd like to try the other ones after I just said lately I've been wishing I'd just leave the damn flavoring out of it. But, I don't know. It really is good. It's refreshing for sure. And for all you folks who, I was just talking to my cousin this past weekend, and he said, yeah, you know, I'm about to get a house. I can start brewing again. Been living in an apartment. It's like, well, I know some people who do all grain beers, like the apartment brewer, do all grain beers in their kitchens using the brew in a bag method. You can make kits on your stove also. I know chilling it is probably a little more difficult in your house, but it can be done. Or use the no chill method. Look into that if you don't know what it is and you're interested. Instead of using the wort chiller, you just let it cool overnight and then pitch your yeast the next day. You know, there's pros and cons. I've done it and made a really good beer doing it, so I don't have anything bad to say about it, but a lot of people are hesitant, you know, to let their beer sit that long without pitching the yeast. But anyway, he said, yeah, I've been in an apartment, so I couldn't brew. What are you talking about? Get some DME, throw it together on your stove, make a little 1 gallon batch. Anyone can do that. And get a 6-pack, at least a 6-pack out of it. Lately, my 1 gallon batches, I think I've been bottling, getting about 9 of them, something like that. Dang, bird. Eating a locust. Jeez, never know what you're gonna find back here. That's the truth. You know, it's almost Oktoberfest season. This past week, yesterday actually, we had some very fall-like weather. Man, it was beautiful. Overcast, you know, probably in the 70s. Beautiful day for my uncle's funeral this past weekend. Yeah, so it wasn't yesterday, this past weekend. But I started thinking about that Oktoberfest and how nice it's going to be to sit out here and relax and drink a few brews when the weather chills down a little bit. Because it's a hot one. I mean, the summer's still in full swing, it feels like, around here. But my wife started burning the pumpkin candles, you know, getting some fall smells, starting to bake a little bit more. So, totally looking forward to it. I always love summer. Like, winters are so rough in Oklahoma, or they tend to be. And I know, it's not like Alaska or North Dakota or anything like that. But by the time the summer rolls around, I'm just like, damn, I need to thaw out. And so I love the summer. I was born in the summer. It's my time of year. But man, by the end of it, I'm just ready for some reprieve. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. But like I was saying, you know, my takeaway, I guess, is if you enjoy nice light beer, try making one sometime with just some DME, some hops, water, and yeast. No grains, no kit, just some DME. You might really impress yourself with the beer you make, okay? It's not gonna be like a flavor bomb, you know, unless, jeez Louise. Sounds like a leaf blower. I don't know what that is. Anyway, if you can hear me over that damn thing. If you like, just, I mean, you can make an IPA with DME also. I feel like it gets more intense once I start talking. Alright, so you could use more hops and make an IPA out of this DME. You know, it'd be great still. I've never done that. Might be interesting. Actually, I have. When I made the hop samplers, those were basically IPAs. I said the same thing then that I'm saying now. Damn, that's just DME? It's a good beer. Okay, so check it out sometime if you're interested in that. It's a super short and easy brew day. And you know, the beer always turns out pretty good. Better than a lot of kits I've made. Whatever the reason is behind that. So, anyway, cheers folks. Didn't have a lot to talk about today, but it is Homebrew Wednesday after all, so I would be remiss if I didn't check in. See y'all next week. Enjoy your week, and cheers.